Now right now we're going to rebuild the front part of the drive unit for the RUCKUS engine, or the variator that goes on the crankshaft end right there. The variator, and it's a kind of an offshoot, I believe it's a better design than the Dio, for one reason. I'll tell you why here in a minute. But we have the pulley part, and that holds the 6 weights that are supposed to go in there. And for some reason I've got something on there. Shit. Should I take something here and clean it up? I don't know why that's there, but a little bit of something. Then we have the outer part of the pulley, and that goes on like this, and that rides on the crankshaft. This is the outer part that you would see. The reason I like this design for the belt is that this outer plate is finned. So what it does is when it's spinning, it creates air, or the air cools down the aluminum, which also cools down the weights. And you can see right here the weights do, when they get hot, they get stuck and they square off. You can see that. You can see how they square off. Different ones square off. These are the old weights. All right. These are new weights, and these are standard weights for the RUCKUS, but I don't know what their weight is. They don't have a kind of a standard. They don't give you weights. They just give you a part number and you just put it in. Then what we have is the shaft. This runs right on the crankshaft. This is called a pulley boss. I don't know why, it just is. This is called a ramp plate. It's a plate that has 6 ramps in it, and the rollers start at the bottom of the ramp and they move upwards, and they all move the same way, same pattern, due to centrifugal force throwing them out or up. And then we have the ramp guides right here. These are new ones. These are 3 ramp guides that go right like this. And they fit on in these 3 spots, 1, 2, and 3. And they do just what it says. They guide the ramp up and down on the variator. And these are the 1, 2, 3 areas that the ramp moves up. It moves up about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, 7 or 8 millimeters. It'll move up and down, but it's generally in the down position, or right close to the variator or to the crankshaft itself. And the last two or three things we put on, this is a gear that goes on last on right about here, and well, it's on the other side. What am I doing? It goes right here, and what this gear does is it's got little teeth on it, and this is where your starter or your Kickstarter catches, and so you can manually start your motor. And then of course we have the nut right there. The first thing we want to do is clean everything up. I like to use a little bit of graphite in mine. You don't want to use any kind of oil or anything, because what it'll do is when it first starts, it'll blow that oil all over your case and get on your belt. And oil and belts don't mix, because it'll cause your belt to slip or heat up or all kinds of problems you don't need. No, so there's no oil at all in that case where the belt is. So we put in the 6 weights in their 6 design slots right here, as you can see. And it's going to be fun to try and do this next part. Now the next part, what I have to do, okay, we have all 6 stock weights, and you can see how they, under centrifugal force, they force themselves out and up, and they push this plate upwards. So the ramp plate, I have to be able to get all 6 of these, no, excuse me, all 3 of these ramp guides on, and they're notorious for getting partially on the variator itself and then one of them falling off or problem with like that. Now if you want to get better ramp guides, Koso sells some that they're really cool. They basically do the same thing, but they're red and they say Koso on them, and they're heavy duty built, and they'll just make you feel like you got a better setup. So we want to take this part right here and line up these 3, 1, 2, 3, with the ramp guides, and just drop it in there like that. Okay? Now we've got that there. Next part is, it's a little bit trickier, but it's not real bad. You can pinch your fingers doing it. We take the pulley boss. Remember, there's no oil or anything on that. You want to grab this like that, so this does not fall out or anything. And what we have to do is to start this onto the crankshaft, okay? And you got to pull your hands away, and you have to put the pulley boss inside here without the back plate falling off. So you have to be really careful. And if you are careful, it will work. It's just like that, okay? Watch. There. Okay, that's all the way on. Now what this is normally your belt is about this wide. It will travel on the bottom of this pulley boss when you first start out. As you get faster and faster, the weights will push out that ramp, which will push this out. As it pushes the variator out, your belt starts to climb and climb and climb right up here. As it climbs, and it's on the outside of the clutch when it first starts, the clutch starts to open and the belt runs down to here. So then you're in high gear. I call it low gear and high gear, but a lot of people will dispute that.